Welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio. I'm Angelica Maria Koch with the educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. So in this video today of our Discover series, Heathy Family and Soul Medicine, let's have a look how you can help your children with chickenpox and the most top indicated natural remedies. As the virus varicella is also related to the ailment of shingles, some of the remedies which I share with you in this video can be used for this ailment too. So when it comes to chickenpox, even if your children are vaccinated, most parents are at their wits' end and they don't know what to do and how to help their children with the itchy skin. So this video will be super helpful to you. To stay updated with my ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, share and like it with your friends and family, and have a look at my website medicanova.net at the online academy, where you will find comprehensive home study online courses in first aid homeopathy and quantum healing. And if you're interested in a personal health consultation, either for yourself or your children, contact me at health@medicanova.net. So how can you help your children with chickenpox? Well, we all remember the time, or certainly I do, the red blisters and feeling uncomfortable and the itchiness and mom telling you, don't scratch, because your skin might get scarred. Well, chickenpox is the common name for the varicella-zoster virus, which causes a very itchy and very contagious skin rash. Varicella-zoster virus is one of 8 herpes viruses known to infect humans. It causes chickenpox, and the herpes zoster kind causes shingles, more in adults. You don't see that so much in children. The virus commonly affects children between the ages of 4 to 10 years old, but I've seen it in babies too. And also adults who haven't had chickenpox during their childhood and therefore haven't developed an immunity can be affected here. How is it treated? Well, fortunately, healthy children or adults really don't need medical intervention in treatment. But I've seen adults who, got the chickenpox via their children and then had a lot of complications, dragging it out for many, many months. It was a lingering disease, needed a lot of attention, so we want to catch it right here and there. What are the risk factors? What are the causes and what are the symptoms? As I said, it's very contagious and it spreads from person to person via air droplets. So somebody can stand next to you and cough, and if you are susceptible at that point, you maybe catch it, right? Don't be afraid of viruses or bacteria spreading around. It's you only catch it if your immune system is low or if it's appropriate for your development. Yes, it sounds crazy, but I see it that way. So, as I said, it can be also transferred by skin fluids. Usually it appears about 2 to 3 weeks after someone came in contact with the virus. The most common symptoms are the skin rash, the itchiness, feeling uncomfortable. Usually it happens around the scalp, the face, the back, the chest, less so on the arms and the legs. And typical chickenpox rash will be active about 5 days before the blisters fill up with fluid, then they rupture and then they form the scabs. Fever usually lasts sort of under 5 days and can cause symptoms like a stiff neck, a sort of flu-like symptoms, aches and pains. Maybe your child has less appetite. We have the fatigue, the lethargy, just a flu-like situation. Some children also have a sore throat or sort of a dry cough with that. But hey, if you have it, really you get it twice. So what are the biggest risk factors here? Well, never having had chickenpox, and therefore, as I said, you haven't developed an immunity against it. Having close contact with anybody who is infected or was recently infected, in this case children. Working in close contact where, like daycares, kindergarten, school environment, where you're in contact with a lot of children. And being an infant or a newborn whose mother never had chickenpox, that's a big one. Or, as mentioned before, with the immune system. If you are on long-term immunosuppressant treatments, like you're exposed to long-term steroid injections and your immune system goes down, that could be a factor, right? So the main idea is keep your immune system intact. And that's also the best prevention here. If you're aware, or your child comes home and said, oh, we got a letter and, you know, we got chickenpox in the kindergarten or whatever, I would say boost your whole family up with a double dose of vitamin C for the next 10 days. I also would bring in Echinacea Herbal Tincture. And some of you maybe like it, I like it, garlic capsules. Really kills up all the toxins inside. So for 10 days, really make sure that you bring in good immune boosting supplements or in the form of nutrients, and really be generous here with your family members so they're all protected. I also would say, however, even if your child is vaccinated, it's not a guarantee that it doesn't get chickenpox, right? I just want to throw that out. So what can you do? Well, first of all, don't scratch, right? Big deal here. The best thing is leave the healing to itself. Don't scratch the bumps, the blisters, the scabs, because what happens, you can make it worse. You can prolong the symptoms. You even can potentially create a little infection, so we don't want that. My favorite herbal formula here for the itching skin and the rash is from Rosemary Gladster. It's a combination out of Burdock Herbal Tincture, Echinacea and Valerian Herbal Tincture. You all get them at your herbal store. It shouldn't be a problem. And here's sort of the dosage. You do 2 parts of Burdock Herbal Tincture, 1 part of Echinacea and 1 part of Valerian Tincture. You put it all together and give about an 1/8 teaspoon every 2 hours to your child. Fantastic remedy, right? It helps with the actual infection internally as well as all with the itching. Now, Valerian tincture has a little bit kick to it, so if you see your child gets more restless or a little bit more active, leave out the Valerian tincture. So usually it stimulates sort of blue-eyed children more so than with brown-eyed children in my experience. So just be a little bit more careful on that. Externally, you want to have an oatmeal bath. I mentioned it in so many other videos before, again with skin conditions. It really soothes the skin. I would add a few drops of the lavender essential oil in there as well, because it's a relaxing nervine. Again, the whole oatmeal is antibacterial and just has disinfecting properties as well. Prepare a big pot of oatmeal. I would say add 3 times as much water as usual. Cook it and then strain it off and use only the liquid. Some like the colloidal oatmeal option, where you have a food processor where you just put in gluten-free organic oatmeal, grind it into a powder. Take about a cup of oatmeal powder into the bath. As I said, lavender essential oil is quite nice with it as well, and then enjoy it. I also like EPSOM salt bath. I think it's very helpful here as well to draw out the toxins. You may be thinking about baking soda, which is the detergent or the thing you have in your fridge. Inexpensive ingredient, yet really has known anti-itch properties, help to soothe the skin inflammation. It also neutralizes the acid present on the skin, reduces the irritation and therefore the itchiness. I would say take about 1 teaspoon of baking soda with a little bit of water and then apply it onto the spots. Now it's very important you only do that with a skin which hasn't broken yet, right? So we don't want the raw and the bleeding skin here. The same here is with apple cider vinegar. I would say 1 cup of apple cider vinegar to a bath, or 2 to 3 tablespoons mixed in a glass of water. Get a washcloth and dab it onto the affected area. Again, this only applies if the skin hasn't been broken at that time yet. My favorite, spray here, or homemade spray to soothe the itching, is a combination out of neem oil and jojoba oil. Neem oil is fantastic. It's used for every kind of eczema externally, and has antioxidant properties. It soothes the inflamed and swollen skin, and it really reduces the itching here, the clustering of the blisters, the pain, and also the scarring. It's very strong, so you don't need a lot. In this case, 1/2 ounce of pure organic neem oil and about 8 ounces of jojoba oil, and you mix that together and spray it on the affected area. Really useful and helpful here. Now, in combination with all of that, you want to have your major indicated homeopathic remedies. They do work very fast here. Highly recommended. And I only share with you homeopathic remedies which you can get hold of in your local health food store or even online. So it's not very complicated. The trick here is to find the remedy which is most alike the symptomatology and the individual expression of your child. So it's not just a remedy which covers every symptom of the chickenpox. Now we want to find the individual keynotes here, and then when you got that, the remedy will work. It's just a given. It's nature's law. So the first remedy is called Antimonium tartaricum, and you want to get the potency 30, which is the number behind the name. Usually in health food stores you only get number 6 or 30, which is legally, available over the counter. Now with Antimonium tartaricum, the eruptions are quite large and they're slow to emerge. The child feels quite sweaty, it's very fussy, and also nauseous even, but the keynote here, when you look at the tongue, it's whitely coated. Also, the child could actually present a rattling cough, and it has sort of a bubbly sound in the chest. It means there's a lot of mucus, but it's hard to come up. Antimonium tartaricum 30 would be the best indicated situation here. 1 tablet, I would say 3 times a day for 2 or 3 days, but always contact your local practitioner or myself at health@medicanova.net if you need more help. When your child is very sort of tearful, really wants a lot of attention, lots of comforting, is whiny and clingy, and the itchiness is worse in the bed from warmth, but better outside, outdoor, fresh air, or your child has a fever that doesn't want to drink, but always have this whininess and this clinginess attached to it, look out for the remedy Pulsatilla 30. Fantastic remedy here. Again, 1 tablet 3 times a day, maybe for 2 days. And in case if you need some help, contact me at health@medicanova.net. The next 2 remedies are the main ones which come into play whatever the stage of the chickenpox will be. So these are the 2 you want to have at hand. One is called Sulphur and the other one is called rhus-tox or rhus-tox toxicodendron. It's a long name, but for you it's just rhus-tox. Sulphur is a big remedy when you find it impossible not to scratch. It's the itchiness, you know, where you feel like, oh, you want to scratch so much till it bleeds even. You can't stop it. It's the itchiness which really irritates your child, and you keep saying, oh, it's itchy. Sulphur will stop the itchiness. Very, very likely, and it's particularly worse for after bath, when the child gets warm, right? When the whole skin gets warm. In general, these children feel warm towards the evening anyway, a little bit more restless too. You know, they're the ones who throw away the cover because they feel hot in the bed. So if you have itchiness and warmth, or the warmth of the bed, or after a bath, it makes it worse, think of sulphur. Again, sulphur 30, 1 tablet 3 times a day for 2 days will calm down the itchiness. On contrary, if you have, again, chickenpox, itchiness, but it's worse from scratching and relieved by a warm bath or applying heat, which is the opposite of sulphur, you think about rhus-tox. Here the child is very restless, physically and mentally as well. The eyes can become very inflamed, even sticky, and you see a lot of muscle ache involved here. You know, feeling very stiff, again relieved by a hot water bottle or warmth of the bed. Definitely bring in rhus-tox. Now, rhus-tox here is also indicated for shingles, because it affects the nerves of the body. And again, sulphur I would also think about when you have the phases of the intense itchiness coming in. You know, the itchiness doesn't go through from the beginning to the end of the chickenpox. It comes sort of at a certain time. So you give the remedy with the most indicated symptom. So if the itchiness is the most striking one, go for sulphur. If it's just about muscle ache and general chickenpox, then give the rhus-tox. But if you're confused, contact me at health@medicanova.net. Of course, there are other remedies available, but I just want to make it simple for you. Antimonium crudum, apis, belladonna, you know, if there's a high fever, Mercurius solubilis, or we have bryonia even. All these remedies are great and indicated, but I don't want to confuse you. I want to keep it just to the 4 basic remedies. So I hope that this video gave you some insights how to support your children with the most natural therapeutic tools with chickenpox. And I can reassure you they will work. If you have any questions, again, this is very important. I really come from my heart here. Contact me at health@medicanova.net. By the way, I'm super stoked right now because, you know, for many months I've done these videos now, and because I truly believe in grassroots education and passing out this vital information. And for a while I didn't hear anything, but lately I get all these great comments and the questions and from all over the world. So I'm so appreciated for your input here, for your willingness and your courage to actively participate in your own healing, as well as your children and your loved ones. So I'm so proud of you, and it's really appreciated. So till next time, much love. Take care.